Rationalization. We are creatures who look for what's known as a closed rational loop, right? The way our cognitive brain works, we are always looking to close any open questions. That's what we call closing a loop. So one of the biggest questions we have is, should we? Should we do this or shouldn't we do this? Well, that's an open loop, right? Should you spank your child? Should you not spank your child? Should you encourage your child to explore whether or not they identify as a different gender? Shouldn't you encourage your child to explore whether or not they identify as a different gender, right? Should you use alarmist rhetoric in your marketing? Shouldn't you use alarmist rhetoric in your marketing? When you have those open questions, the only way that we know to close that loop is by creating an ethical paradigm. So we create some sort of external concept or index that tells us what's morally right, morally wrong, ethically right, ethically wrong. And then through that rubric, we answer all those should we questions. What CIA looks for when it hires its intelligence officers is people who have a flexible moral compass, right? They call it moral flexibility, so that we can change our rubric almost on demand. So if I'm sitting here behind my desk in Florida in the United States, I have a different rubric than if I'm sitting at a desk in Turkey or if I'm sitting at a desk in Kuwait, right? I can change the rules of what I think is acceptable and not acceptable fairly quickly. People who have a really deep spiritual faith or belief in something have a harder time making those instantaneous changes. They believe that no matter where they are in the world, they should follow the same moral compass. I'm just a different person than that.
So they have a really clear type of personality profile, do they?
So everybody has a very clear type of personality profile.
Sorry, as in the CIA hiring process.
Correct.
For field agents, they have a very clear personality profile.
And that profile, they have a very clear profile for who they're hiring for all of their specialist roles.
Are you allowed to share that?
So there are elements of it that I can share, and then there's elements of it that remain classified or proprietary to CIA. But it's a big part of what my business does now too, is teach people how to identify behavioral traits that are beneficial to your company or detrimental to your company in your hiring process, right? So for example, Myers-Briggs is the foundational personality test across the intelligence community, right? I know there's 10,000 competitors out there. There's DISC profiles and there's whatever, you name it. There's thousands of them, right? But Myers-Briggs is the one that's being used by the intelligence infrastructure of the United States. And it's used because it's got a number of benefits to it. It's simple to understand. It's been around for a long time. It's based in scientific evidence. Are there others that are better? For sure. The government's not looking for the best. The government is looking for something that's feasible, practical, affordable, scalable, right? And you can very quickly profile an individual through 16 type codes like you have in Myers-Briggs. You can break that down into 4 sets of 4 temperaments. There's just so many benefits to being able to do something operationally instead of academically. And that's really the advantage that CIA brings to the table in everything that they run, is they come from a very pragmatic operational decision making position, rather than this question of, well, what's the best? The best is yet to be discovered. There's always something better. My 9th grade coach in track and field taught me there's always somebody better than you, but that doesn't mean you don't race right now. If you like this short clip, make sure you click here to see the next clip or here to see the full podcast episode.